I want to do a video on shame because it's actually really important, even though most people may not think it is or see the connection. And I know shame better than the majority of people, um, because when you grow up gay in the closet in a Catholic system, school system, etc., um, and in my experience, having no one to um, be a model of who I actually was, to reflect that the way I was okay. You have a baseline of living every day in shame, of every day thinking that who you are is inherently bad, wrong, that you're a bad person, that um, there's something deeply flawed about you. And, for the first, fuck, 18, 19, 20 years of my life, that's how I live my life. Um, which manifested in many, many, many physical illnesses, um, unexplainable at the time. But my point is with this, because I've been through what I've been through in my life, I can clearly see what's happening now on the world stage with this um, pandemic, or so they say. See, even though I experienced a very, very deep um, baseline frequency of shame, um, most people on this planet right now are operating at a level of shame. Again, not as perhaps not as deep as I've or others have gone with it, um, but nevertheless, it's still that same baseline, just a little bit, or perhaps a lot more subtle. And the point of me saying this is the whole idea of the government and these um, people who are wanting to control you right now. They do so. They don't do it right now. No one's forcing you, to wear a mask outside. When I was in New York City, no one's forcing you to wear a mask on the subway. Um, it's impossible right now, at least. You are you are policing yourself, or other citizens are policing other people. Um, and why is that? It's because of shame. It's because of this idea that the majority of human beings living on this earth now think that, again, it could be very subtle, but it's the baseline frequency of most people right now. Most people think deep down something's inherently wrong with them, that they are unlovable, that at their core they are bad. And the people who the people who write the mask BS and all of these mandates coming out, like, they're marketers, they're psychologists. They know this. They know that people um, are riddled with shame, and that more than anything, people want to belong, people want connection, people want other people to like them. I mean, look at what these social media companies have done with likes, and how they've gamified Instagram, and you know the dislike button on YouTube and stuff. Like, the people who've created this matrix, if you will, of social media know that you want to be liked, know how painful it is that, if you go against the agenda, if you go against wearing a mask, if you go against, whatever else is rolled out, that so many people are going to go with it because it's in the status quo, because they want to follow the herd, because that's where the connection is. Because without connection, you know, um, we're wired for connection. There is a real scientific study done of babies and Half the babies were just given care and not smiled at, not interacted with the caregiver, and the other half of the babies were given the same, just physical care, but were also given smiles and nurturing and hugs and stuff. And the babies who were given no physical affection, no connection, died. Um, and I love that because it really illuminates how important, how vital, how you know, persuasive it is to our subconscious to follow the rules, you know. Like, I mean, I know growing up, like, I tried to impress every teacher, every, you know, I try, like, every, even all of my peers. Like, you, like, when your baseline frequency is shame, thinking you're bad, you try so hard, you put so much pressure on yourself to be good every single day. And that's what I'm seeing now a lot. And again, I know there's some people who genuinely, you know, are paranoid right now, and it's okay, and they want to wear the mask out of their own, you know, volition, which is fine. But like, there's a ton of people who are going against their own wills because, again, there's this subconscious baseline of them thinking that unless they do what they're told, they're gonna appear as bad to society. I mean, literally, people, you know, the some of the narratives are like, you're gonna kill your grandma or kill your mom if you don't wear a mask. Like the level of shame like we're putting on little kids, you know, who are still developing their minds and their subconscious, and you know, they're seeing that um, you know, all of the advertising and marketing from these psychologists, um, to which basically is reinforcing, you know, do what you're told to do, for everyone's safety, or you're a bad human being, you're a killer, literally, in some cases. um, and we have to see too, like, the bigger agenda in all of this, right? It's really about reclaiming our innocence. Like, guys, this whole thing will be over, and it's going to take a lot of time. Like, people are not there yet, which is fine, but like, once people really get in touch with their innocence again, once they get in touch with their innocence again, that they're inherently good, decent people, just trying to do the best that they can do, that's when this thing ends. Because right now the narrative's being pushed, right? You're sickly, you're bad, you're contagious. Even with like the fires now, like human caused climate change. Read any article on mainstream media that's human caused, it's human caused. You're bad. What your actions are doing, you're bad. You're causing fire, you're causing destruction, you're causing chaos. That's the narrative. And it's an illusory narrative, guys. I'm not saying anyone's perfect. I'm not saying that we have a ton of work to do, but it's important that we tune into these narratives that are being spun and pump the brakes and say, wait a minute. Am I really contagious, as CNN says? Are these fires really happening because of human caused climate change? And this doesn't have to get political. It's about connecting to ourselves again, and it's about dealing with our own shame and feeling often the painful emotion that is shame. And by feeling it and by acknowledging that it runs our life still and it's running our society right now, subconsciously, people aren't aware of it, but it's, you know, nevertheless, it's still running the show right now. But the more we do that, the more it, you know, life gets to get so much easier, and we don't have to rely on forces that say that they have our best interests when it's actually the exact opposite.